What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I got my fire going, letting the smoke clear out of the garage. But anyways, today we're going to be ripping the steering gearbox out of the Camaro. Now, if you've seen my bumper install video, you would have seen we found the pitman arm seal is leaking, unfortunately. So we got to pull that out, and we're going to do a rebuild on it. And unfortunately, on the other side, we found that my heat exchanger pump was leaking as well internally. So going to be replacing that too. Anyways, I'm going to get as much power steering fluid out of my reservoir as I can, just to minimize how much spillage I have. I'm still going to get some spillage, but you know, we're going to do what we're going to do. I got to get my air intake out, probably going to pull the windshield fluid reservoir and the alternator for access. And that'll wrap it up for the top half, and then the rest will be from underneath. And I'm really hoping that I don't have to touch my radiator. This thing is like got about that much clearance between the fan shroud and the steering box. Just a guess, but I'm going to say that gearbox is filthy inside. This car has never been driven, and that's all brand new fluid. Every component of the steering system is brand new except for the gearbox. So, yeah. Also, side note, guys, those of you with wood stoves like me, be careful when those embers pop out. This box started burning on me. I didn't know until I started smelling smoke. Well, I suppose that was a reality check. That quick little fire that started. Well, smolder. Seen the smoke. Got it on time. Where is my dang 10mm? I might cut this stud, that way I can put a socket on here. This thing is way too long. And that friggin' 16th of a turn every time. We're going to be here a while. What are you guys up to today? Why don't you let me know what projects you're working on? Definitely interested to know. I pretty much had to tear all this apart. I had to take the line off the pump just to get to the bolt that held the steering shaft on. I definitely need to invest in some crowfoots because, man, that sucked. My wrenches barely fit in here. I was getting quarter turns at a time. So I got to run to good old Harbor Freight anyways today. Probably see if they got some crowfoots for reassembly, but I need to get a pitman arm puller. Well, now we're moving on underneath the car. But before I start trying to disconnect all my steering linkage, I'm going to try and see if I can break this pinion bolt free. Now, the closest socket I have is 1 5/16. It's got a little play. That should do the trick. I'm going to put this on my breaker bar. Like I said, I'm hoping that I can just get her broke free real quick. And it's not working. Might have to do an impact on it. Let's straighten my thing out. Straighten the wheels out again. I'm gonna get an impact. No, unless I just turn the wheel all the way to the lock. Let's try that actually. There we go. All right, so now pretty much for me to get this box out of here, I got to take this cotter pin out and this castle nut and separate the pitman arm from the center link. I'm going to have to remove this little brace here that goes from the K-member to the frame rail. It's 3 bolts. If not, the pump will most likely hit it. This little brace has to come out in order to get to that bolt right there. And then these 3 should be all that's holding it in. Turns out the gearbox is hitting the fan shroud. So I'm going to try and just take off my top mount brackets, and I'm hoping I can just kind of like pick up on the radiator a little bit. See if that'll help out. That thing was a pain to get out, guys. Listen, with the center link and all the everything in the way, I had to unbolt the radiator and pick it up as high as I could, and still it was a struggle. So it's going to be fun putting that back in. But after delays, 2 days later, the package is finally here. This is the replacement pump I got for the intercooler. This thing's supposed to flow 9 gallons a minute, but it's a pretty small box. Wow. This thing is tiny. I might have to run this pump number again just to make sure I got the right thing. That's really little. Kind of hard to believe this flows 9 gallons a minute. But that's my replacement pump at a third of the size of the original. Put that in there. Got me some cleaning goodies. But this is what we need right here. Steering box rebuild kit. You're working on a 3rd gen Camaro. That is your part number, 8522. This one comes with the bearings. There is another one that's just the seals. But yeah, I just wanted to have it all with me. If my bearings are good, I might not even bother with it, but I'd rather to have it than, not have it. You can see there's the big bearing, little ones inside, all my seals. But we'll kick that to the side because we got to start disassembling this. So we got to start disassembling this. I already broke this free on the car. Should be as simple as just loosening it. wondering if I should have took advantage while it was still bolted to the car and actually just removed the fitment arm altogether. Too late for that now. No cheapo Harbor Freight fitment arm puller. Needs a couple love taps, that's all. I don't know if the Milwaukee's got it. To be honest with you, I'm probably going to break my little Harbor Freight bit before I get this off. Right, that is not going to work. I'm going to have to fire up the compressor and pull out the big guns. Let's see if I get a cheater bar on here. Or there we go. I have a reducer on this one. I'm going to have to switch to the ground. Come on. Just making a mess. Oh. Really don't want to make a mess. There we go. Right here is where this box is leaking, this seal, right on that shaft. So I could just take this out and change that one, but I'm in it, so I'm just going to change all the seals altogether. And the bearing, I might or might not, I don't know yet, but we're pretty much going to do a full rebuild on here, plus or minus the bearing. I'm going to put a punch mark right here at the top. Another on this ring. And then another on this to help me tighten it up later on. I suppose it doesn't really matter where. Let's do it. I think right about here is good. One. Two. And we're going to put one right in here in the case. That's going to do is that's going to help us put the correct amount of preload on everything later on. Got a little piece of scrap pipe here. I'm going to catch that edge and just hammer it off. There we go. Probably doesn't help. I spray bomb this thing, so it's got a lot of paint mills just seeped all up in there, just like glue, holding it together. You throw that in. It's probably going to be too small. Doesn't help that these are old. They're actually kind of seized up. Could be a good thing or a bad thing. I'm going to find out. There we go. It's working. Now this bolt right here is well, it's not a bolt, but whatever it is, this isn't on tight. I'm going to loosen that a little bit. Alright guys, my camera died. I didn't realize that. Well, pretty much all I did after it died was I took off this center gear, which is dripping grease everywhere, but right here, and I checked out where the bearing rides, and it does look good. There is a mark on it, but you can't feel it whatsoever. I also reached inside the case and felt the bearing itself. It does feel a little rough. The case is extremely filthy inside, and I do see some metal shavings in it. But the next step now, since I took that out, before I start trying to remove the ball bearings from inside here, I got to get this out. And in order to do that, there's usually a hole in the case. Where is it? Right here. The hole right there. And there's like a little snap ring in here. You'll just pop that out. Now, I'm just going to give this a little whack in. I want to be a little gentle because that is aluminum. But just to kind of get the pressure off of it. Pull the shaft away. That'll help make sure the shaft isn't pushing the piston into that. And you grab your punch. There we go. For another tap. I want to get a better screwdriver. Wipe my hand. Got it. That thing was corroded in there. You can see all that rust build up. Man, that was an unnecessary fight. I would say it's a good thing I got a new one, because definitely can't reuse that. So I didn't want to make a mess, I made a mess. Alright. I'm hoping this front is going to come off. But based on that ring, I don't think so. Thinking it cross corroded probably. The dissimilar metals coming together. I think I'm going to avoid it. We're going to make a mess no matter what. Ugh. Just gushing oil everywhere. Alright, there's the aluminum cap. Now the easy way to get that out is literally just how I did. Once you pop that ring out of there, you'll turn this counterclockwise and it'll push the piston out up against this, which in turn will push it out. Show you guys what I mean. There's the piston. You can see it comes out. It goes in. There's an O-ring in here too. We'll be replacing on that. Alright, now before I can get that piston out, got to get the ball bearings out of there. Guys in here. See this bolt? There's actually two of them in there. Got a bolt right there. And you got to turn. You use your finger to push the shaft, because you can't see those bolts. Normally it's like that. Make sure if you guys can see in there. Normally it's like that, and you grab your finger, push those gears downward, and expose those bolts. And in this little tube are your ball bearings. We're going to take those out when we get our ball bearings out of there. I got my magnet here. I don't want to lose these things. I really don't even want to do it out here in the open like this. If you lose one of these ball bearings, you pretty much got to get yourself a new box. Sometimes Zero can be a pain.
I need to get a smaller magnet that's going to get in there. Oh, I got one. Got two of them out. You'll know you'll have them all out when the piston stops moving when you turn it. Got a couple stubborn ones that are just not trying to come out of there. More magnet is what I need. Yep, look at that. I got 22 BBs. With our special tool here. This thing is really dirty, so this is going to need a good cleaning. Those are like our Teflon seals. Here, we got to pull this all apart. Don't want to just yank away like that. Hopefully nothing fell. There's a seal, the input shaft seal. And there's a thrust bearing in there. Gonna leave it together for now. Okay. Now, get our worm gear. There is a thrust bearing on the worm gear as well. Still in the case. I got these short fingers. Don't really help much. Grab this roller bearing. Goes like that. I'm gonna put it back on the worm gear as it should be. Then we have a race. I believe that's it for there. There's nothing else. Yeah. Now we'll just simply that sounded like a BB. Oh wow. Look at all that gunk in there. Yes, in fact, guys, that was a BB. That is why I would like taking these apart in here. Because at least I know it's in here and I will find it. There's actually another one in the case. Of course, the magnet's way too strong. So we are up to 24 BBs. Man, this thing is dirty. All right, now we're at the point where we just got to clean all our parts. And we'll start putting our new seals. Pound out the old ones. I'm probably just going to clean this thing first. Whoa! Did you hear that? Jesus. That was thunder, guys. That was really loud. Actually scared me. I wasn't ready. Make sure there's no more BBs inside of here. And there isn't, but there is a lot of debris. Lots.